Hello, everyone. I gotta put the picture up. Sorry. We gotta be more. Oh shit! 1 second. So we can get the video underway. This is the last video of the night. We had a lot of catching up to do, and we are doing it quicker than I thought we would. So we have Dexter. We have the 9th episode of season 3. Decent amount to talk about here. Crazy storylines happening. Things are unfolding. So it's the morning after Dexter and Miguel together take Billy Fleeter's life, and Dexter feels no longer alone. He realizes someone's with him and that is willing to do the things that he does, and that is kill people, of course. We know this. And that guy's Miguel, of course. On his way to work, he stops at Miguel's house. He confronts him, what did you do? Did you do this? And Dexter's kind of in denial and disbelief, he can't possibly believe that Miguel would be the type of guy that would kill this girl all because of, let's see, Miguel, he didn't think Miguel was the type of guy that just kill an innocent person, and by Dexter's code she's innocent. I guess by Miguel's code she isn't, though. Anton is still missing, and the police are searching his apartment and canvassing the area, hopefully trying to use him. And they used him as bait. Obviously, Deborah didn't really appreciate that much. I think it's George King. They've kind of known for a decent while now that George King could possibly have done this. Deborah insists on picking up George King. She's like, yeah, he's the guy. He is our guy. In a secret spot, King is wielding a machete over Anton, now missing a strip of skin from his back. This is kind of the moment in the series where we realize that George King is the Skinner. This is our first look at him. This is our suspect, loud and clear. And yeah, it's disgusting. The crimes are just absolutely heinous. They're disgusting. Dexter overhears Maria leaving a message for Ellen Wolf, asking if she's sick because she missed the Chicky Hines motion hearing that morning. Wow, that's kind of strange. Is she doing well? And Dexter starts to wonder. He keeps kind of thinking about the possibility that Miguel could have done this. Miguel could have killed her. And if she's dead, he knows who killed her, and it's Miguel, of course. So he needs to try to find her body somewhere and see if she's alright. So Quinn and Deborah are at King's house waiting on the warrant. They're stalking his house, so waiting outside. They're trying to get this guy. They're trying to get a reason. They need that plausible deniability, of course. Suspicious about Miguel's nighttime disappearance, Dexter calls him to check in, making sure everything is good. The reality of it is he's going to ask him about, they're going to meet somewhere, and he's going to ask him, did you do this? You need to be honest with me. You need to be a friend. Because we need to get to the bottom of this, and I need to help you cover this up. Maria, tired of sitting behind a glass wall, questions Mario Astorga from King's crew. She's tired, it's starting to affect her own people, so she's done. She's taken full action, she's taken full affirmative action, and you gotta love that about Maria. Angel overhears Masuka and Barbara discussing deviant sex acts, so he gets kind of, suspicious that Masuka might be hitting on her, and, yeah. When King arrives home for breakfast, he's shown the search warrant by Quinn and Deborah, so the police confront him. They get out, they confront him, and yeah, he seems kind of calm about it. He seems like a respectful, polite guy, but obviously we know the dramatic irony that this device they use in all sorts of shows, he did it, of course. Meanwhile, Mario Astorga is still in custody, quaking in fear over his boss, because there's this thing going around that if he snitches on him, he's going to be in trouble, which it might be true to an extent, but the police are going to protect him, and Deborah's going to make a deal with him later on that works, and it really helps them make advances on King. Deborah loses her temper while she's questioning King, and Quinn orders her to out of the room to get coffee. Not sure why we had to reconnect there. The internet's kind of having trouble, I guess. Whatever. It's fine. But, yeah. Dexter asks Maria if she's heard from Ellen, but she hasn't returned 3 messages. He's trying to... He's getting a little curious. He's getting kind of worried that Miguel actually did this. And he's asking Maria, because Maria's kind of grown close to Ellen Wolf. Miguel shows up at an open house with flowers for Sylvia, and Rita's there, and they kind of have this interesting talk. Rita kind of tells him to get his head out of his ass, give him some wise words, even though Rita isn't in much of a position to do that. It's still a kind gesture for her to do. Deborah interrogates King again. She tries again, and obviously King... obviously he knows that they possibly know that he did this, but... And with the whole thing that happened in the interrogation room earlier, he figures that they're a pretty easy group to crack. Dexter walks through Westgate Cemetery looking for open graves where Miguel might have slashed Ellen's body. So now the look starts. Now Dexter's like, okay, I gotta make sure this guy didn't actually do this, right? And yeah, he finds her. And like so many emotions are just pouring through his head. Like, no way this guy did this, you know? Well, at Kojimar Cafe, Miguel says that he could let George King walk free so they can take care of him. Kind of like a deal here. And Dexter clues him in that he knows that he killed Ellen Wolf. And yeah, since Miguel thinks he's untouchable, Dexter returns to the cemetery to set up a wake-up call to kind of teach him a lesson. Even though it's not really a realistic thing because no one found it but Dexter, so that's kind of a dumb thing for Dexter to do. Maria confides in Deborah about how she built a huge wall around herself because she thought it made her a better cop, but it didn't. Maria asked Miguel to buy time before King is released so they can find Anton. They need to find Anton. They need to make sure King is detained and that he's not out there hurting any more people because they know for pretty much a fact that it was him. He did this. Two boys playing at the cemetery discover Ellen's body. So yeah. Dexter kind of like dug up the body subtly so they could like see it, and yeah, obviously those kids are traumatized for life, and it's probably because of Dexter, but yeah. Miguel arrives at the cemetery and acts appalled. He acts like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this happened. He's like showing like fake love towards Maria. It's brilliant, of course. I'm sure Dexter was sort of proud of him for doing this, like having this fake story, these fake emotions. That's what you need to be if you want to be a serial killer. Rita feeds samples of wedding cakes to Dexter and asks which one he prefers. He chooses hazelnut. That's not really an important detail, but they're starting to kind of slowly prepare for the wedding. Maria is grieving for Ellen at the station. Angel suggests that she go home, but she wants to stay. She wants to get involved in the case. She wants to help people find a resolution. Miguel agrees to offer a deal to King if it isn't recorded, so Angel allows him to turn off the camera. Dexter runs tests on the blood-stained shirt that Miguel had in the crime scene, and it wasn't Freebo's blood. Deborah thinks of a way to get Mario Astorga to talk. So yeah, she figures out this plan. This is the plan I was kind of referring to earlier. They carry it out. It's successful. They begin the chase. He tells them where the building is. He snitches, right? King sees them coming and runs. Yeah, kind of badass of Quinn to open the door with the car, like ramming it through. But at this point, King has fled the scene, and all they can really do is just rescue Anton and make sure people that are close to them don't get hurt. And that's a good thing, but obviously the rest of the town is still at risk. And maybe now that King is on the run, it might not be as bad. But Dexter is waiting in his office for the results of the blood test. Yeah. The blood test results in a match, and Dexter stares at the scene. It's cow blood. It's fake. He's being set up. He kind of realizes this. Like, oh man, like, Dexter has visions of him, like, taking his anger out on Miguel, and I think the relationship is going to become very intriguing, very interesting moving through the end of Season 3. I think it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to watch this tomorrow because I already watched The Walking Dead today. We will have that review tomorrow. We will also talk about the Super Bowl and the basketball games tomorrow night. And I'll hopefully stream GZTV Live on Twitch, all lowercase, maybe some 2K